record like proper professionals. Welcome back, folks.
We in the back of the chicken shack.
We recording straight out the Kennedy Fried.
Straight Texas.
Texas Fried down the block from Myrtle Wyckoff.
No. I need that. I need that Big Apple chicken, son.
Word, we betraying the gods on Wilson and whatever that is, Grove. Block before Grove.
Oh, it's a lot of those, but no, I'm taking it back to 95, 96.
We on our big body best right now, just shouting out random intersections from New York City.
That Lincoln Fried Chicken.
You might catch me. You might catch me on Irvin. You might catch me on Irvin and Decatur.
Yeah, baby. Straight Rockaway, baby.
In a leather suit.
Fulton and Ralph.
Exactly. So up to no good at 3:45 in the morning.
No, I mean, you can do some good then, but probably not on the streets.
Not on that intersection.
At least you ain't going to find no good on that intersection.
No good comes out of Pitkin at 3:45 in the morning.
Shout out to Brother Scrams.
You would think this is a New York podcast. I guess it is. Welcome back, folks. Despite our minute and a half there of being goons, we are back and ready to be professional in this latest installment of the Perfect Podcast. Sitting still here at the end of the world. Don't front on yourselves like it's not the end of the world. Y'all out here still dying and getting sick and bugging.
It's the end of the world as we knew it.
I think we just got demonetized right off the rip because I'm already referencing sickness. But I
mean, I was born demonetized, so
it's true. This channel was born demonetized, so we good money. But we here to talk about the vaunted NBA bubble that we had promised you, goddamn 3 months ago. Now, we definitely took a little hiatus, had to sort some things out. Content creation is tricky when you're not consistent, and niggas is trying to get back in the gym again. So here we are. We're going to talk about the NBA this time. It's been a long time.
This may be a real juice-infused cast, but, we're still knocking it out the park, though, man. I
mean, I'm not flabby or anything. I run my mouth about nerd shit every day.
It's just going to be a little...
I just wasn't recording it.
just a little TRT, son. Just a little bit. I mean,
it's needed.
Just a little bit.
And nigga definitely feeling a little old. We already 2.5 minutes in. I'm sweating a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Looking around, like when you're on the mat in UFC, when you're in that side control and you're getting wrestle fucked, and you look at the clock and you realize there's still 2.5 minutes left in the round.
Nose is broke. You're breathing out your mouth.
Breathing out your mouth. You're already tired.
You know you're not getting up.
This nigga is steadily flattening you out, ready to choke you. Yes, it's a frightening thing. No, I'm gonna work my way out this choke here. Put my hand up to my temple. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to put your hand up to the temple to create that space. So you don't get choked. You breathe a little bit.
Turn your head into the choke.
Turn your head into the choke, all that. Unless you're dealing with some master choking.
Mad technical shit.
This ain't about fighting, though. We talking about the league. We're going to kind of do a bit of a bonanza of sorts because we promised you that we would talk about the bubble before it really kicked off. We didn't really get a chance to, and then it suddenly was happening and it kicked off, and so much happened just beforehand and as it started. So we're going to kind of cover that and then cover like being in the bubble and like what's been going on and anything that we need to speak to now that we're basically up to the conference finals, because this shit is flying by right now.
And if you're some cooperative and happy campers, we may have some lemon pepper wings for you after this one.
Word up, especially since your boy Lemon Pepper Lou is about to go fishing potentially, given what's going on with the Clips right now. Some niggas is calling for the end of these niggas. That's how you know niggas hate the Clippers, because they're really on this nigga for that lemon pepper shit.
No, they're just mad because they ain't getting no wings yet.
Or titties.
Well, I mean, some would say the wings are better than the titties, but...
If you have wings named after you... there must be something to that. I don't care if there's like a tit in my other hand or the fattest ass I've ever seen in front of me.
Listen, bro,
if them wings is really that good, I'm in that chicken. So
I mean, look, I've never personally been to Magic City, but everybody I know that's either lived in Atlanta or been there and been to Magic City, they'll say, like, right now, there's motherfuckers eating in there right now. They don't care about the joints dancing.
I totally believe that.
They just
when I was a younger lad, I worked in some strip joints, and I've always said the mark of a good strip joint is how good the food is.
Oh yes.
If you get food, like, because it's kind of a gamble. Going for food.
No, yeah, it's fine. You know, I don't care if you don't have no food, but everything else has to be popping.
Definitely, but if the food is good, that means you care. That means you really care about your establishment. That means you want people to be there. That means you want people to look at it as more of just, oh, this is a place where you just go see titty shake or whatever. Like,
no, out here in New York, we call those cabarets.
Yeah, that's right. And cabarets are great too. Like, you know, you get your drink on. It's nice. That's also the mark of a good cabaret. If they got the good, you know, go dancer in a cage or on the bar.
Or you know, or a good shower.
Exactly. Titties is out. It's a good time. We
digress.
Love that stuff. You know?
But we digress.
Shout out to Lucky 13.
Shout out to
I miss y'all.
I miss Sue's Rendezvous.
Sue's Rendezvous. Shout out to them. Shout out to what was your man's that got closed down? Sin City.
Sin City. Goddamn. Goddamn.
Oh boy. I might call that Sin City at the end of the world, even though that has nothing to do with basketball.
Sin City and lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper wings at the end of the world. that jives. It's a bit of a mouthful. Maybe lemon pepper wings at the end of the world. We'll go with that. But at any rate, like this has been a very interesting environment for basketball, because for me, like, as an observation, like, basketball is usually so like controlled and like manicured, and like the show they present to you is such a way, everything's on purpose, like ain't no hair out of place, none of that. And with this, because of virus time, things, and not that like the bubble is disorganized or a mess or anything like that, but like it's kind of just been on the fly, which is very refreshing, because I feel like I've gotten to see more out of my commentators, out of the players, out of the coaches. Like, the emotion is real.
Yeah.
The fans, even though they have the piped in fan noise or whatever, like the fans that are actually there, like the teammates and whatever families that get to be there, it makes it real. It makes it organic. You get to hear the dudes on the court finally cursing like a motherfucker. Like, I love all that. Like,
no, we're getting in some ways we're getting a better game, and then in some regards, just in regards to like the season and what it could have been, we kind of got robbed by the pandemic. But in regards to like pure ball, it was,
niggas is balling out.
It is, and you know, and you know what I'm saying, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But you know, it's like you just said, like you're it's kind of like when you lose one of your senses, the other senses are heightened. You know what I'm saying, so
fantastic analogy.
And I mean, we've lost the sense of smell, but like the sight and the hearing is just,
it's sharp.
Yeah, it's immaculate right now, man. It's immaculate.
It helps us enjoy those lemon pepper wings that we should be eating too.
Yo, if the Clippers win the chip, boy, I need them to have a big, like one, like the 50 wing platter or like the 100 wing platter.
Nah, it should be a picture of them there, because you know they ain't gonna go to the White House with Trump or whatever.
No, them Kawhi at Magic City holding like 8 wings.
All of them at Magic City with a platter of Lou wings, holding the trophy.
With your man Pete Jizzle as the Finals MVP, perhaps.
That would be nice. That's an excellent segue into a couple of these questions I have here. You're truly a professional, my guy.
I've just been swigging a little bit.
Well, you know, some lubrication, you know, makes the train run better on the track.
Hydration situation, man.
So, to playoff P, I guess the first question I more wanted to ask was, what is the most glaring absence from any of the teams that have played, that are still playing? I know that we're talking about this in kind of pre-bubble terms, but it's hard not to be able to be in the future and look back and have hindsight be 2020.
Yeah.
So to Paul George, that's kind of a thing you could talk to, because people have been clowning him for basically, I don't want to say he's a ghost, but he has not been the playoff P that
non-playoff P.
You know, dudes have been calling him pandemic P, which he hates. You know, Paul, you're my guy. Like, I don't want to call you pandemic.
That's
P.
his fault.
I believe in
that's
you.
That's his fault. Son.
You know, dudes go through slumps. It happens. This is a very special time in our history. Also, niggas are clowning you because of your home situation. You clearly sensitive about that. And what I would say, my nigga, is just embrace it, son. You love your wife. So what if you fronted on Doc, son? Seth Curry is good money, son. He scooped that bag, son.
And you won.
And you won.
Well, you didn't win in life, but you won.
He's still winning, though.
Kind of. If he wins the championship, then...
Even just this run, because, as you said, basketball has kind of been mutated a little bit. Like, they were on the run, even though they had niggas with injuries. They were resting Kawhi.
Yeah.
They were kind of not playing it to their fullest strength. But now in the bubble, you're forced to play all out from jump. Like,
I mean, that was always their excuse. I mean, throughout the whole year, just because they only had maybe 15 games, maybe 20 with their full roster.
Yeah, but that's also the excuse that they offered up to that postseason Pelicans from a couple years ago. And them two wasn't the reason why that team got right. Them two was a glaring. It was a huge advantage.
But nobody saw it. Nobody thought that Pelican team was going to really get the chip.
No, but what I expected out of them was to show me that they're actually a basketball team instead of a box of puzzle pieces and Drew Holiday.
No, I wanted them to, because theoretically, right. And we're kind of spending too much time on this, but they had the dynamics in regards to being what was the team to beat then, which was the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? You got two prolific big men and a ill backcourt.
Right, and defense. But I brought them up for a reason. The reason I brought them up is because a lot of people always place so much stock on the regular season. And yes, it does matter in terms of the X's and O's and figuring out what your matchups are and all these other tiny million intangible basketball things.
Yeah, because basketball is a very sensitive topic, man.
I get that.
That's why that little movie documentary they had last year is Basketball: A Love Story.
Absolutely, the passion that people put into it, the investment, the
different stories,
monetarily and otherwise,
different mindsets, different cultures.
Lives are built around this.
Cultures are built.
No different than football or any other cult, because it is a cult that you can talk about right now in America. Basketball is ball is life. That phrase exists for a reason, and so the reason why I brought up that Pelicans team is because. They still managed to pull everything together because they're a good team around a capable leader, which the Clippers have a few of them, and Pat Beverly, Doc Rivers, etc. You just have, and I don't want to call them divas. When I call them divas, I'm talking about in the sense of like their shadows and their stature and their power that they have. These two guys are top 10 players, they draw a lot of attention to the team, and the team was playing good without them, or the team was playing really good with one or two of them. I mean,
that's the same team that took Golden State. Well, I guess it's San Francisco now, but Golden State to 6 games last year.
Exactly.
And it was KD that had to really separate all of that, and that's part of the Clippers' problem now. Is like last year they were just this grit and grind team. You know what I'm saying? We all for one, one for all for one. Now, and that's why I'm like, they probably shouldn't have. Instilled 2 all-stars into that. All they needed was one, which was Kawhi.
I agree. Because then they wouldn't have to give up Shai Gilgeous.
You will have Shai and fucking your man Gallo.
And Gallo and right P-Bev. You could have just dealt one. But I get it. They wanted to throw the farm. Steve Ballmer got the money.
And that was the only reason. That was the only reason Kawhi was going to the Clippers.
And they were overachieving. But I mean, I wouldn't even say that because both them boys had stated many times, both those men had stated many times that they wanted to come home.
All day.
Many times publicly.
All day. But listen, if the Raptors, and rightfully so, I understand why they didn't, but if they would have made the move to get P. Jizzle, then Kawhi would still be in Toronto right now.
Yes, because I guess contradictory to the point I just made 10 seconds ago, Kawhi had also said publicly, just like Kyrie had in Boston, I want to stay with Toronto. And hey, maybe he was telling the truth at the time. Toronto is a very good team. They loved him up there.
You may have to blame Drake for that.
It's always Aubrey's fault. Any Canadian catastrophe.
It is, man. I'm sorry. I have to blame him.
Any
for that.
downfall is always your prime minister, Aubrey Graham.
Come on, son.
He's gonna run for president. Watch, or prime minister. Watch.
And he should win.
He will, just on the strength, son.
He should. And that's when the dictatorship begins.
Nah, this nigga would just go into a debate and be like, oh, and then he wins, and that's it. At any rate, people say a lot of things publicly, especially public figures who are getting asked the same questions 800 times a day, and how annoying that is, getting tweeted about it and tagged and all these other things. And I understand that they'll just give whatever answers depending on the mood they feel at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But I stick to what they wanted to do. They both wanted to go home. That's why there was that whole, like, Paul George's going to go to the Lakers. Paul George's going to go to the Lakers. It's like, nah, it doesn't make sense for him to go to the Lakers because he doesn't fuck with Braun. It's clear he doesn't fuck with this nigga.
I don't know about that.
But that would have been honestly the ideal spot, even over the Clippers. Even though I was the one saying loudly, go to the Clippers if you're going to go home. Because that organization is trifling.
I mean, the Lakers fucked that up. The Lakers could have got P. Jizzle if they wanted to.
Yeah,
way before AD, but they smashed that. Then they fucking give the whole farm up for AD.
And now look where they're at. Even though they won last night, you know, they're the wagon is kind of wobbling a little bit with that team because they're top heavy.
Now you mean PG-13. He may have really become playoff P had he linked up with Braun. I didn't want to see that personally, but
definitely because then that means he starts at the 2 and he would have been feasting on everybody.
The 2 or the 3 because they still could have put Braun at the 4 depending on your team situation.
But it fixes their weakness, which is their backcourt, because he probably be the best defensive player on the team.
So therefore, Braun would be able to do what he can do,
yes.
which is just be facilitating,
strong, exerting less energy throughout the game, so that he can close at the end of it, or so that he can facilitate even
philosophizing.
Harder. He could craft epics out there with a guy like Paul George, who is hitting at a crazy clip, slump aside, as soon as he get that open look at a 3. So
and for what it's worth, like LeBron is a way better leader than Kawhi, even though Kawhi came from the way better culture.
Yes.
But Braun would have been able to bring what P. Jizzle needs to be brought out. You know what I'm saying? Much in the way that AD is, but you know, AD niggas been talking shit about him for 6 years. No, let's say like 4 years.
Even still, like, this nigga has been balling throughout them 4 years, and injury and shitty teams and bad management.
But look,
and all these other things, like
the shit talk has to come about, bro, because you can't be the first overall pick coming off a national championship. And
but to go to a question you always ask me, whose fault is that? Not his.
No, but he's still
he put up his end of the deal.
It's the T-Mac theorem. Even before it was the Braun theorem, but Braun broke through that. And it's the T-Mac theorem in regards to, you're a superstar, bro, and you have never gotten out the first round, son? Or even if it is on the West.
It's a bad look. He's an elite player. So I get that.
Especially with that team we talked about with him and Boogie, even though Boogie went down, as he usually does. And truthfully, both of them niggas go down.
Both of them went down.
But either way, though, son, like, there's a lot of side stories. I would love to see AD succeed. Not with Braun, but
on his own merit, because I think he's more than capable. That's why I was really upset that he went there. I was like, yo, you are essentially admitting that you can't do it without another superstar, which is bullshit. Because if you went to, like, kind of a mid-level team, you could really elevate them, because you elevated the Hornets, and
all he needed was another.
So,
all he needed was Drew Holiday and another dog to go with him,
and a consistent coach for more than 2 years, for once, maybe.
All day.
That's why I point the finger squarely at the organization. Yeah, he's injury prone. Yeah, he's this, he's that. He takes too many threes. There's criticisms you can make of this dude.
Look,
but he's still an elite player and the best big man in the game.
If your man Jimmy Buckets, aka Jimmy Bouquet, if he would have agreed to go to the Pelicans, AD probably would not be on the Lakers right now, son.
That would have been some shit. I had never even actually considered that.
I didn't either till just now. But you got him, Drew, possibly your man playoff Rondo.
Who would Philly have taken to make that deal happen?
Nah, it wasn't a trade, because remember they signed him.
There was a free agency bullshit.
They signed him.
I forgot.
Yeah. He got traded from Minnesota to Philly off that contract because he signed with Minnesota. But yeah. Either way.
It fucks with me because Josh Richardson went there, so I felt like they were traded for each other. That's why I always think about it like that.
Oh yeah, no, they were.
Yeah,
because he still was on that contract, and they wanted to re-up on him, but he was like, "Nah, I'm
exactly."
Good. I don't want
so
to.
That's why they did that weird ass deal for that. That's how you know they didn't respect this nigga. You traded, and not that Josh Richardson's a bum by any means, but like you traded a dog, son. The player you needed for your team to tie these young niggas together who don't have the chemistry right now.
Truth be told, bro, I think like Jimmy just didn't want to be there, man.
No, because he saw what he was dealing with in the front office. It wasn't about the team because on the floor, these niggas was cooking.
So, in other words, Jimmy did not trust the process.
Why would he? They didn't trust him.
No.
He's your fucking closer. This nigga was wildin', son.
No, he technically was your everything.
And I'm sorry, folks. I know this is not supposed to be about Jimmy's. Like, this is a sore spot for me because the process actually was going well, and then you torpedoed it because you did that usual NBA staff bullshit. Oh, we got to get a name. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, we have money. I'm itching to spend this money. You didn't even spend it on fucking Andre Drummond, you asshats. Like, you overpaid Al. You overpaid fucking... I'm so annoyed. I can't even think of this nigga name right now. Fucking Tobias Harris, man. Like, it's such bullshit.
All right,
like,
so we'll just switch to the next
I'm okay.
next question.
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm good. The reason why I'm talking about all this is that team chemistry and how, to go back to what we were talking about in terms of how things are different in this bubble. All these politics and all this shit suddenly doesn't apply, which I enjoy because it's keeping shit honest in a way that we haven't seen in forever.
It is, but it's also giving
the game
us
is more real now. Like,
it's also giving us some real bullshit endings, but we would have gotten that regardless in the playoffs. So.
we'll talk to that. I got a nice little NFL NBA thing with that, but
I mean that.
Unless you want to talk about that right now.
No. We'll. But you know what? I'm glad that you were able to make that comparison.
Oh boy, that was immediate. Like I was.
The dramatics.
I was here in my house, and with some of these finishes, I would stand up and be like, "That wasn't pass interference," and then leave.
That wasn't a fucking foul,
and be mad, son. Or the foul is there, son. You see it. There's under 2 minutes left. You have to review the tape. That's the rule. And you're gonna tell me that's not a foul? There's no contact. Why is that a flagrant? This is bullshit.
Yes.
You guys seem to kind of be making it up on the fly more than usual.
I mean, it is the bubble, though. It is the bubble.
And so I chalk it up to that. And even with that level of bullshit, it's still interesting. It's still
it has to be.
It's still captivating. I'm in here like this, like close to my fucking computer that I watch it on, like in the screen, like because it's amazing that like you say, oh, this game is the game of the year, and then the game of the year happens 2 nights later or the next day. Like, it's been a roller coaster with this shit.
It has, and like honestly, for me, like, I feel like the playoffs would have been like that regardless because, again, this season was supposed to be the season of mad anemone and just mad and like you didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen, son. You know what I'm saying? And definitely we came back to the era of the duos and we stepped out the era of the big three, even though we probably will end up going back to that next season or whatever true regular season we have. But truth be told, had Ball not came back, I'd have been alright, but they figured it out, man. I'm saying that their bubble is a real bubble, and you are intrigued, even though it is basically a glorified summer league.
I'm still into it because if Summer League was on, like it would be right now, or at least last month it would have been on.
Yeah.
We would have still been in it talking about, the new hotness or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
That would have been our episode instead.
All day. So it's like...
we're watching a glorified Pro-Am is basically what we're watching right now.
Now, look, in some ways, that does affect shit because there are times where I'm just like, yo, I forgot there was games on today, man.
Me too. Even though I loved waking up to basketball,
yes.
Or waking up early and then like eating and then like being like, oh, there's a game like on an hour or two and it's gonna be good.
The only thing we would have right now is just fucking baseball and good fights.
Yeah, and MMA and the
whack SummerSlam.
The drudgery of wrestling, which we will talk about in an episode or two from now.
It may be more than that.
I'm a little exhausted by wrestling right now.
It's
a little bit, but we'll talk about that later. That there's the prophecy or the spoiler for the future, as Paul Heyman would say. So I guess to finish out, this initial thing we were talking about, are there any other glaring absences, whatever context you can think of from a team besides playoff P? that really hit a team hard or hit an organization hard or hit the league hard in a way that stood out to you?
I mean, that's kind of a two-part question because obviously you have to it has to be separated between the teams that are still involved and the ones that aren't. You know what I'm saying? And
Well, no, let's stick to pre-bubble. You know what I'm saying?
no, that's what I mean.
If you guys,
in the
we'll,
bubble,
we'll talk about
the
this.
teams that went to the bubble.
We'll talk about this for the bubble episode as well. Like some of these questions you're gonna hear repeated, guys.
Yeah,
no, because it makes sense.
I'm talking about whatever that was, the 22 teams that showed up.
Yeah, and
I'm just talking about them. And truth be told,
or the ones that are just out now.
Yeah. Well, we will have to start with you have to start with the Blazers.
Oh yeah, we talked very much off camera or off mic about this.
Off the camera mic.
Off the camera mic. Should have meant those. They are invented, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I have to start with them because they kind of capture the image of a team that could have been out but was in.
A team that said that they weren't coming initially. Remember, Dame was like, "I'm not going."
Hey, that was Dame, and then he said all that.
If he doesn't go, what chance do they stand?
True indeed.
It would have just been CJ out there getting destroyed.
It has been CJ in playoff Melo.
Exactly. Hey, shouts to playoff Melo because we did an episode about you, man. We called it. A team picked him up.
Oh no! First of all, the melodrama too is coming.
Oh yeah, we got it. Now we are contractually obligated to do the melodrama too because your man really showed up in a huge way, both in the regular season and virus time seasons.
Much to the denial of you, but you know what I'm saying.
I gave him his due.
Yeah, he was fronting on Melo, but
I gave him his due.
We'll get back to that. So.
But my thing was like he's gonna average 16. He's not gonna play that hero ball, but he's gonna be out there, and he had been.
And I would say I could never say
he was the third option. We weren't even calling him that in the first melodrama.
No,
he was the third option on that team.
First of all, look, me personally, I would have said he would have been the third option. But thing I would have never guessed.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I know
I'll stand behind that.
Yeah, I know you. Him being the best perimeter defender. Let's talk about. We won't talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, you gotta save that. You gotta save those. You gotta save those jewels, bro.
I mean, stand by for the drama too.
We'll make it though. It's happening.
You know what I'm saying we bringing them drama mixtapes back.
He earned it. Let's say that your man earned
it and said he's trying to come back.
He's playing great. Why not? Why wouldn't he?
Now, I mean, this is a little precursor for I guess a episode we'll do before the next season starts. But you'll have a motivated Melo and a motivated